But still, marriage today feels more like a burden than a dream. Dating? Also fading? In 1982, 2/3 of unmarried people had boyfriends or girlfriends. Now, most singles are truly single and don't even want a relationship.
So what do we got going on here? This is a video from All Asian Dilemmas. The current situation of Japan's low desire society. Young people don't date, buy homes, or work hard. So we're going to dive into this video and tell the Japanese what they are doing wrong.
Right now in Japan, something strange is happening. Young people seem to have silently agreed to stop buying houses, stop getting married, stop having kids, stop spending, and even stop caring about work.
Well, what could be the problem? It's crazy. They don't want to get married, date, buy houses, spend any money. Wonder what's going on. It sounds similar to what's happening here in the United States. Is it truly that people don't want these things? Let's see.
Promotions? Salary raises? Forget it. Some are choosing to live day by day, working short-term gigs, earning today, spending today, not even wanting to take a single coin home. To describe this phenomenon, Japanese scholar Kenichi Omai coined a new term, low desire society. In simple words, it's like everybody decided to lie flat, living a carefree, salted fish lifestyle. But how low can Japan's youth desires actually go? Curious? Then follow Uncle Leng, because today, we're diving into the strange world of Japan's low desire society.
Strange world, and how low can it go, right? Well, I think it's pretty much reached the bottom. It could expand to more people, but it sounds like people are living for the moment. You can't live for less than that. You only live for the shortest amount of time. So, and again, why is this happening? What's going on?
It wasn't always like this. Back during Japan's economic boom, things were completely different. The rich flew around the world buying luxury goods and art. Ordinary people, too, spent money like there was no tomorrow. Consumerism was everywhere. Gold leaf ramen, gold flake ice cream. Extravagant spending was normal.
And this is something that I've argued with people about, this extravagance, gold leaf ice cream and gold leaf ramen, all that stuff. What a waste, And people will say, oh, no, it's not a waste because, it's economics. If people want that, then they should be able to get that sort of thing. Yeah, okay. We could be spending our time and efforts on things that are more valuable to the human species in general.
Normal. If you didn't drop tens of thousands of yen just eating out, you felt embarrassed to tell anyone. Real estate prices? Out of control. In 1989, the total value of Japanese land was 4 times that of the entire United States. Selling Tokyo to buy America wasn't even a full joke. Back then, buying a house was seen as guaranteed profit. People rushed into the housing market, even with crazy mortgage rates of 8 to 10%, and then the tragedy struck. In the 1990s, the real estate bubble burst. Overnight, countless people fell from heaven to hell. Hundreds of thousands of families went bankrupt. Tens of thousands became homeless. In Tokyo alone, the homeless population doubled. And so, over the next 30 years, Japan's economy stayed stuck, barely moving. It was in this frozen time that the low desire society slowly formed. One clear sign? Young people stopped wanting to buy homes. In 1990, a new apartment in Tokyo cost 934,000 yen per square meter.
Well, it sounds like they had good reason to stop buying homes. The economy took a tank.
That's about 41,000 yuan at the time. Imagine this back then. It took 26 years of working without spending a single yen just to buy an apartment. Later, prices crashed. By 2002, it fell to 513,000 yen per square meter. Prices have risen a little since, but never returned to the peak. Today, a new 70 square meter apartment in Tokyo costs about 13 times the average yearly income. Nationwide, only 8 times. Mortgage rates, dirt low. Even 35-year loans stay under 2%. Even 50-year loans stay below 3%. But still, nothing seems to awaken the desire to buy. Among young people, it's almost a consensus. Carrying a mortgage? Pointless burden. Between 1983 and 2013, home ownership among 25 to 29-year-olds dropped from 24.8% to just 11.3%. Compared to the real estate madness of the past, it's like night and day. But it's not just buying homes. Young people are also turning away from marriage and children. Since the early 2000s, Japan's marriage rate has stayed under 0.6%. Less than 6 couples per 1,000 people marry each year. And
well, marriage is a big burden. It's a big responsibility. It's difficult. And what's the point? So, what is the point of marriage? It's always been for economics and family, right? It's always been like, oh, we're gonna bring 2 families together and we'll have this much more power over the neighbors or whatever. And then we need to have somebody raise our kids. We can't just have kids run around willy-nilly not being taken care of. So we need to have a stable family structure in order to raise the children in. Those things are no longer necessary. Those things are no longer valued. We don't marry to expand our wealth. At least most people don't. I guess maybe like wealthy people do. But the average person on the street doesn't marry to expand their wealth. And that's always kind of been the case. Really, like the average peasant didn't marry to expand wealth necessarily. They married because, hey, we got to have babies and we need to have families have babies. Now that we're saying that families aren't necessary, you can have babies without families, or you can just not have babies at all. What do you expect is going to happen?
And kids? Even fewer. Today, each woman in Japan has an average of 1.3 children, far below the replacement rate of 2.1. Only a handful of countries have even lower numbers. Since 2011, Japan's population has shrunk for 12 straight years. By 2050, according to the United Nations, Japan's population will drop to 105 million.
Okay, now it's been a while since I've looked at the population of Japan, but the last time I checked, as I recall, it was about 127 million. So that's a significant drop-off, but you know what? I mean, this is going to cause problems, but is it really going to be that big of a deal? Japan is already overpopulated as it is. Too many people living on that little tiny island. So maybe it'll be a good thing for Japan to lose some people.
The working age population? Only 45 million. Each elderly person will have barely one young adult to support them. Imagine that future. Even basic elderly care could become a luxury. And everyone knows it. Yet marriage and birth rates just won't rise. Why? Economics. Back in the booming years, Japan was alive, full of energy. Young people had little, but they had hope. Hope made marriage and family seem possible, even exciting. But after 3 lost decades, that hope is gone. Now, young Japanese are cautious, or simply choose to stay single forever. Surveys show about 15% plan to remain single their entire lives. Traditional ideas like, the man works, the woman stays home, less than 20% support it now. Believing marriage must lead to kids dropped massively.
You can blame this on economics all you want to all day long, but another factor is the fact that, you give women all the options. They don't have to get married and have children. That used to be what women did. That was what they looked forward to. For the most part, I mean, yeah, some didn't. Every once in a while you had one who didn't. But mostly women got married and had kids. That's what they wanted to do. And there were economic incentives to do this. We set up society so that women were encouraged to do this. Now you don't have those incentives anymore.
From 67% to 36% among women. From 75% to 55% among men. Sure, society progressed. But still, marriage today feels more like a burden than a dream. Dating? Also fading? In 1982, 2/3 of unmarried people had boyfriends or girlfriends. Now, most singles are truly single and don't even want a relationship.
Well, to be honest with you, 2/3 of single people had a relationship, of unmarried people had a relationship. That sounds really low to me. I don't know, when I was a kid, it seemed like everybody had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. There weren't any single people. There were only married people and people with girlfriends or boyfriends. That's it.
Over 40% of men and nearly 35% of women have never dated anyone. Naturally, marriage ages have climbed. Today, the average first marriage age in Japan is 31.2 years for men and 29.6 years for women. And raising kids? Even harder. Private education in Japan is expensive. Raising one child through private schools to university graduation costs about 41 to 42 million yen. Even with public schools, it costs over 27 million yen. This financial burden crushes the desire to have kids. More and more families choose one child, or none at all. Now, if low birth rates come from passive resignation, Japan's low work desire is very active. The hardworking Showa generation? Long gone. Today's workers born after the bubble burst grew up relaxed. They would rather enjoy life early. Why kill yourself for nothing? Retirement keeps getting pushed later and later anyway. When looking for jobs, young Japanese focus on 2 things: stable salary, stable work. Forget ambition, forget growth. Many dream of retiring by 50. Stretching to 60 is already generous. Only about 25% say they're willing to work until 65. Overtime? Almost impossible. Around 60% refuse to work more than 20 extra hours per month.
This is a big difference because when I was young, the Japanese were working themselves literally to death. They would work so much that their hearts would give out in just a few years, and they're dying in their 40s and stuff. So it's ridiculous amounts of work. And people are, I guess, realizing that, if you live to work, what are you living for? Not surprising at all. But if you have an incentive to work and put in the hours, then you're going to go ahead and do that. And what's that incentive? Oh, family. Okay. So it all comes down to basically the traditional way of doing things. Going back to having kids, having family, getting married and having kids. The husband works and raises the family or raises the kids, supports the family, and the wife stays home and takes care of them. There's a financial incentive there for a man to go out and get a good paying job. It's because he has people to take care of. There's a financial incentive out there for women to go out and find a man to marry to have kids with, because she is not allowed to work and make as much money as a man can. So she's going to be living in poverty unless she finds a man who can support her and her kids. It's a beautiful system. I don't know why the woke are so against it, but they are.
The ambition to become company president? In 1990, it was 34.4%. Today, just 7.8%. Most are happy reaching mid-level management. Department manager? That's good enough. Start their own company? No interest whatsoever. Honestly, none of this should be a surprise. Years of stagnant wages, an aging society, weak economic growth, low expectations feed low desires. And the younger generation? They've learned the harsh lessons of their parents. Back then, fathers left home early for work, came back drunk at night, rarely spoke to their kids, forgot birthdays, knew nothing about their children's school lives. Family ties weakened. Couples argued, heavy mortgages crushed them. And, in the end, the bubble popped. All their hard work turned into a bitter, cruel joke. For today's youth, the takeaway is simple. Hard work does not guarantee reward. So why work yourself to death? As the joke goes, working hard doesn't guarantee success.
Work is not the answer. We see this in the United States, a very industrious country the United States is, if you don't know. I mean, I think everybody knows that. The United States is economic powerhouse worldwide. And we're actually one of the least happy countries. Why? Because we don't have social and familial ties. We don't have strong social and familial experiences, not like they do in more poverty-stricken countries or less wealthy countries. So what you want to do is focus on the things that are going to make you feel good. What's going to make you feel good? People are learning more and more that, hey, hedonism, debauchery, those things make us feel good. I'm going to live for the day. I'm going to live for the moment. You can see this happening all over the Western world. Japan is considered a Western country, in case you didn't know, but you see it happen more and more.
But not working hard guarantees peace. And that's exactly how Japan's low-desire society came to be. For Japan's youth, it's a rational choice. But behind that rationality lies a lot of helplessness and sadness. That's it for today. What do you think about the low?
So, it's all like I said, there's a lot of sadness there. Yeah, you're right. You're just confirming what I've said the whole time, is that these people are not looking at the traditional way of life as a way to be fulfilled. And maybe they can't very much because it sounds like their economy is messed up. So it's hard to find a good paying job that's going to allow you to support a family, 2, 3 kids, and a wife, while the wife just stays home and raises the kids. So since there's no incentive to create that, if there's no incentive to create that, you're not going to have that in society. You're going to have people living for the moment, because it really is happier from what I've heard from people and what I've seen in studies is people who don't have kids are overall throughout their adulthood happier. Maybe in their old age they're not, but throughout their adulthood they're just like, we can go out and do whatever we want to do and we don't have this burden. And I mean, there's truth to that. If you're a mother, you should only be as happy as your least happy child. That should really be where you're at if you're a mother, because your goal in life is to have happy kids, happy, thriving kids. That should be what you strive for. The man should be out striving to slay the dragon. Anyway, that's all I got for this time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.